Hello, fans, and welcome to This Day in Baseball, where we're going to bring you a full radio broadcast of today's game. And before we do that, I just want to thank Classic Baseball Radio, and there's a link in the notes where you can check out their full channel. They have many great radio broadcasts. And while you're listening to today's game, if you want to check out much more about the game and the players, look on the links below, and you're going to see links to player pages, the date the game happened, the year it happened, and the play-by-play. Enjoy the game, and check out the links while you're watching the game, and please don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that every time new content comes out, you're going to get that firsthand. And thank you again for checking out This Day in Baseball, and enjoy the game.
This is Lindsey Nelson at the Polo Grounds in New York, welcoming you to another New York Mets doubleheader, brought to you by Rheingold Extra Dry and Viceroy Cigarettes. This afternoon, the Mets meet the Houston Colt 45's here at the Polo Grounds. Ralph Kiner, Bob Murphy, and I are on hand to bring you every bit of the action. The conference continues at home plate between the umpires and managers. Warming up right now for the Houston Colt 45's is the veteran right-hander Skinny Brown. Warming up for the New York Mets is Galen Cisco. The Colt 45's will start a lineup of left fielder Al Spangler leading off. The veteran Johnny Temple at second base batting second. Peter Reynolds at first batting third, and right fielder Rusty Staub batting fourth. Bob Aspromani playing third base and batting fifth. Rookie Jim Wynn playing shortstop and batting sixth. Howie Goss is in center field batting seventh. John Bateman is the catcher batting eighth, and Skinny Brown is the pitcher batting ninth. Now the starting lineup in batting order for the New York Mets. Leading off and playing second base is Ron Hunt. Batting second and playing third base, Jim Hickman. Duke Snyder is in right field batting third. Jesse Gonder again behind the plate and batting fourth. Frank Thomas is in left field batting fifth. Tim Harkness at first base batting sixth. Joe Hicks is in center field batting seventh. Larry Burright at shortstop batting eighth. Galen Cisco, the pitcher, is batting ninth as the New York Mets take the field here at the Polo Grounds in New York. As you probably know, we had showers all around and in the metropolitan area this morning, and we had a fairly hard rain here at the Polo Grounds. However, the infield was covered and is in excellent condition. Al Spangler, a left-hand batter, is coming up to lead off for the Colt 45. He has an average of 269, one home run, and 16 runs batted in. Jim Hickman is on the edge of the grass at third, and here's the first pitch of the game, low for ball one. The Colt 45 is opening up a four-game series with this doubleheader today. Single game tomorrow night and a single game on Tuesday afternoon. Cisco's pitch swung on and does it deep to right. Going up the upper deck, and it's gone for a home run for Spangler. Al Spangler hits the second pitch of the ball game into the upper deck and right. It is his second home run of this season, and the Colt 45s are out in front by a score of 1-0. Johnny Temple, the veteran performer and second baseman for the Colt 45, hitting .266 this year with 12 runs batted in. Breaking ball is in there for a called strike. Again, Cisco deals, and it's outside for a ball. Jesse Gonder behind the plate today for the Mets. Didn't play yesterday when he complained of a slight back sprain, but apparently he's feeling okay today. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball, it's low. It's 2-1. Here's a swing, a ground ball is short. Taken and dropped by Burright. Chases it over, can't find the handle, and on at first is Johnny Temple. Hit that one at Burright, and it scored as an error. Tried to take it on a short hop, but couldn't get control of the ball. With nobody out, former American League batting champion Pete Reynolds is coming up, playing first base today. He has a season's average for the Colts of .211 with 11 runs batted in. He's a left-hand batter. Cisco checks the runner, and here's the pitch one on line into left field for a base hit. Frank Thomas over, up with it, lays it back in. Holding it second is Johnny Temple. That is a patented Pete Reynolds blow to the opposite field, and that's going to bring up Rusty Staub. Rusty Staub playing right field today. He is the New Orleans rookie who has a batting average of .209 right now. 3 home runs and 26 runs batted in. Left-hander Don Rowe is up and throwing in the bullpen now for the New York Mets. The Colts leading by a score of 1-0. Cisco checking. Here's the pitch to Staub, and it's a little tight for a ball. On deck is Vadas Permani. Cisco checks the runners, and the pitch breaks low and inside for a ball. It's 2-0. Runners first and second, nobody out. Houston 1, the Mets nothing. And now the 2-0 pitch is inside for ball. Out to 3-0. Now the 3-0 pitch to Staub. It's fired in for a call strike. He was taking all the way. Let's get the crowd reaction. This ball game, of course, got underway on time. There was no delay because of the shower this morning. Galen Cisco with the 3-1 pitch. And it misses low. He walked him, and Rusty Staub goes to first. The bases are loaded. Bob Aspermani is coming up. A Brooklyn boy. He is batting .199 with 3 home runs and 19 runs batted in. There is still nobody out for the Colt 45's in the top half of the first inning. Cisco works straight away, and the pitch is high for a ball. The New York Mets leave the infield. A double played up here in the first inning. Aspermani has the bat cocked. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt. Blocked by Gonder. Keeps it out in front of him, so there is no at bat. That was a breaking ball down in the dirt, and Gonder blocked it. Keep it out there in front so there could be no at bat. 2-0 the count. Ron Hutt has come into the mound. Now goes back to his position at second. At third, Runnels at second, Staub at first. The 2-0 pitch is high for ball 3. It's gone out 3 balls and no strikes with the bases loaded. On deck is rookie shortstop Jim Wynn. Galen Cisco in trouble early here in this ball game in the top half of the first inning. Still has not retired a man. And he walked him, and that will force in a run. That pitch was high and tight. And Casey Stengel is on his way to the mound as Johnny Temple comes across the plate. Still nobody out. Houston leading 2-0. Bases still loaded. Aspermani gets a run batted in for drawing the walk with the bases loaded. Casey Stengel looking down toward the bullpen, and he's going to bring Don Rowe in. Don Rowe now starts in. So Galen Cisco has failed to retire a batter as he has faced 5 of them here in the first inning. Up to now, he has been charged with 2 runs. He is responsible for the 3 men he is leaving on base. He has allowed 2 hits. He has struck out none, and he has walked 2 as Don Rowe comes on. This, of course, is an afternoon for a lot of baseball in the major leagues, and to tell you what's on tap, here's Ralph Kiner.
Okay, Lindsay, the second place San Francisco Giants
are playing at Pittsburgh, scheduled at Pittsburgh, but that doubleheader has been postponed because of rain. And don't forget, San Francisco will be in here at the Polo Grounds for night games on Wednesday night and Thursday night. The Giants at the Polo Grounds Wednesday night and Thursday night. Los Angeles at Philadelphia. The score 3-1 in favor of the Los Angeles Dodgers after 4 innings. Johnny Padres going for his win against Cal McGlish. That is the first of 2. 1 home run in that ball game by Johnny Callison. And in the National League, Chicago's at St. Louis. They're out in the top of the first. St. Louis now batting. Glenn Hobby going for the Cubs against Ray Sadecki for the St. Louis Cardinals. That is the first of 2. Also, doubleheader at Cincinnati. Milwaukee playing there. The scheduled starting pitchers are Bob Shaw against Jan Zadorov. In the American League, New York at Kansas City for 2. That game not yet underway. Detroit at Washington, a doubleheader postponed right there. So rain all around the country. Baltimore is scheduled at Chicago for a doubleheader. Cleveland, a doubleheader at Minnesota. They're out in the top of the first inning with no runs. Minnesota now coming to bat. Pete Ramos going for the Indians against Jim Cott for the Twins. Also in the American League, Boston at Los Angeles, and that game is not yet underway, and there's a doubleheader out there, too. So plenty of baseball coming your way. Also plenty of baseball right here at the Polo Grounds. We're in the first inning, and we have 2 games to come off right here, and here's once again is Lindsey Nelson.
All right, Ralph Kiner, it has begun to rain slightly here at the Polo Grounds, and the umbrellas have begun to spring up in the box seat areas of the lower deck. Don Rowe has completed his warm-up tosses. Right-hand batter Jim Wynn is coming up. Wynn has an average of .333. He's been up only 12 times and has 4 hits. He has 1 run batted in. He was a draft selection last winter by Houston off the Cincinnati roster. Here is a pitch high for ball. Jim Wynn playing shortstop these days for the Colt 45's. Bases loaded, nobody out. Pitch to the right-hand batter. He's in there for a called strike. It's 1-1. Pete Reynolds is at third. Staub at second. Astromonte at first. Here's a swing and a looper in the left field. It's going to be a long run, and nobody can get it. It falls in as Hicks fields it, throws in. 1 run has scored. The bases still unloaded. Pete Reynolds had to hold up until he could see whether that one would drop in or whether it would be caught. So it is a single for Jim Wynn and a run batted in, and the Houston Colt 45 right in front by a score of 3-0. A looping single into left center field for Jim Wynn. That brought Pete Reynolds in from third. Staub moved to third. Aspromonte at second. Wynn is out at first. That run, of course, charged against Galen Cisco. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Howie Goss is at the plate, batting .215, 9 home runs, 33 runs batted in. There's a pitch low for a ball. Grover Paul is throwing in the bullpen. Now Jay Hook is throwing in the bullpen for the New York Mets. And here is the swing. And a miss. It's 2 strike count, 1 and 2. Still nobody out for the Houston Colt 45. Playing a foul ball just off the end of the bat of Howie Goss. He came to the Colt 45 from the Pittsburgh Pirates during spring training this year. Getting his sign from Jesse Gunder. Working straight away. There's a swing and a high pop to short right. Hunt is back there. Infield fly has been called. And Hunt makes the catch. No advance, 1 away. That'll bring up Johnny Bateman. Bateman is batting .193 with 5 home runs and 23 runs batted in. Mets leave the infield at double play depth as the Colt 45 lead 3-0. There's a swing and a drive to left center. Thomas racing over. Dives, can't get it. It goes by him. 1 run has scored. 2 runs runs scoring. Wynn is coming along third. 3 runs have scored. On the way to third is Johnny Bateman. He pulls up with a triple and 3 runs batted in. And the Colt 45's lead by a score of 6-0 in the first inning. Scored as a triple as Frank Thomas elected to try to go for the diving catch of the sinking line drive, and when he did not make it, the ball rolled all the way out to the bullpen area. 3 runs batted in. So with 1 man out, pitcher Skinny Brown is up. A runner at third, and still 1 man out. That's in there for a called strike. Here's a swing and a fly ball to right, going deep, way back, and this one is off the base of the wall. Some fair territory. Snyder picks it up, plays it in. The run scores from third. It is a single to right and a run batted in for Skinny Brown as Bateman crossed the plate. Jay Hook throwing in the bullpen for the New York Mets as Al Spangler comes up for his second time. He hit the second pitch of this ball game for a home run in leading off. It is 7-0 now. The Colt 45's leading. 5 of the runs charged against Galen Cisco, and 2 of them charged against Don Rowe. Pitch is inside to the left-hand batter Spangler. Kenny Brown with the jacket on at first base. Again checks his runner, and here's the pitch swung on, has a foul ball back at third. Jim Hickman has it lined up, waiting and makes the catch. 2 away. Johnny Temple coming up for his second time. He was on the era by shortstop Larry Burright, and he was the second man up in this ball game. Checks and deals, and the pitch is in there for a called strike. This pitch is low. It's blocked by Gonda. Rolls up the first base line. No advance by pitcher Skinny Brown. In the bullpen, a ball has eluded Choo-Choo Coleman, and he goes out into center field to retrieve it. Runs it back to the bullpen now. A count of 1-1 to Temple at the plate. And the pitch is low and inside for a ball. It's 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and still deep to left. Thomas going back, way back, and makes the catch going away for the out. Frank Thomas hauled it down, so in the top half of the first inning. Colt 45's got 7 runs on 5 hits, 1 Meadow, 1 Colt left, and at the end of a half inning of play, it is Houston 7, the Mets nothing. We're going now to the bottom half of the first inning. The Mets trailing by 7 runs send up Ron Hunt, the second baseman, to face Skinny Brown. Brown has won 2 games and lost 4 so far this year. 38 years of age. He is 6'1", 185-pounder from Greensboro, North Carolina. He has no record against the Mets. His lifetime record, 79 wins and 70 losses. No wind-up delivery. And the pitch is in there for a call strike to Hunt. Ron Hunt is batting .257 with 5 home runs and 20 runs batted in. Swinging a foul ball back to the right and out of play. 2-strike count to Hunt with Jim Hickman on deck. Ron Hunt in spring training was used as a leadoff man a great deal. Early in the year, he was used either in the leadoff spot or batting number 2, and then he was pushed down to number 3. Has been batting number 5 of late, and he's back up there in the leadoff spot today. Pitch is outside. 1-2. The veteran Hal Brown uses a slow, easy delivery. Paul Richards had him on his pitching staff in Chicago and Baltimore. Uses a knuckler. Here's a swing and a foul ball back and out of play. And he's been using him, the coach has been using Brown for spot performances this year as a starter. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Swung on a ground ball to third. Astamani bobbles it off his chest, picks it up, throws on, and in time. He got him at first base. That was off the chest of Astamani, but he scrambled for it, recovered in time to throw on and get Ron Hunt. So Jim Hickman's coming up. He's batting .221, 8 home runs and 31 runs batted in. Duke Snyder moving out to the on-deck circle for the Mets. Pitch is in there for a called strike. Slight miss falling at the Polo Ground. Low and away for a ball hit, 1-1. Pitch swung on. It's a foul ball back at third. Given a run by Astamani. He's at the barrier, and this one goes into the stands. About a half a dozen rows deep. Count of 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jim Hickman. Starting the day's play in the National League, the Los Angeles Dodgers on top. Here's a pitch that is in there for a called strike. He caught him looking. So it is strikeout number 1 for Hal Brown. 2 men out, and Duke Snyder coming up. Duke is batting .236 with 12 home runs and 28 runs batted in. In the National League race, the Dodgers on top, the Giants in second place 6 games back, and the Chicago Cubs 6.5 back, the St. Louis Cardinals 6.5 back. That pitch is low for ball. National League yesterday, Dodgers defeated the Mets 11-2. The Phillies beat the Giants 4-3. Pittsburgh shut out Houston 3-0. Pitch to Snyder, swung out and missed. It's 1-1. Yesterday, the Milwaukee Braves beat the St. Louis Cardinals 7-5, and Chicago at Cincinnati postponed because of rain. The 1-1 pitch to Snyder is outside for a ball. In the American League yesterday, the Angels beat the Yankees 3-1. The Minnesota Twins beat Boston 6-4. Kansas City and Cleveland split a doubleheader. Kansas City won the first one 6-5. Cleveland won the second one 7-4. An early win, credited with his 300th victory. Here's a swing and a foul ball back at third. Astamani gives it a run. It's curving on over into the stands and out of play. So, despite the fact that he left the ball game after 5 innings of play yesterday, early win. Finally managed to notch that 300th victory in the second game of the doubleheader, beating Kansas City 7-4.
Lindsay had 8 tries to win that 300th, and he really struggled and finally got there. It's sure nice to see him make it because I know it's been a real ambition of his right from the last year.
It certainly has. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Swung on, it's a ground ball full foul. Back at first, fielded by Reynolds. And in spring training, of course, Early Wynn didn't know whether he'd ever get another shot at trying to win the 300 because he didn't know whether he'd be picked up by any major league club. But the Cleveland Indians did pick him up, and now he has become a 300-game winner.
He's pitched fine ball for them, too, even though he hadn't won that 300th game. He had pitched good ball all the way along.
Right. There's a pitch high and away. It's 3-2. Washington Senators beat the Baltimore Orioles 4-3 yesterday. The first win for Gil Hodges' Senators over the Orioles this year. Detroit at Chicago in the American League rained out yesterday. Here's a payoff pitch to Snyder, and he walked in. Snyder goes down to first to become the first net base runner, and that will bring up Jesse Gonder as soon as he has rid himself of the shin guard. Gonder has an average of .340. He has 5 home runs and 8 runs batted in. When Gonder hit 2 home runs here the other night, we told you it was the first time this year that any Met had hit 2, but that wasn't true because Duke Snyder hit 2 home runs on Willie Mays' night here. There's a big banner now flung out over the upper deck. Says up yonder with Gonder. The pitch swung on and foul back into the press box and out of play. It's strike 1 to Gonder with Frank Thomas waiting on deck. Another big banner says, "Let's go, Gonder. Hit one yonder." Here's a the pitch high. 1-1. There was a big banner unfurled when we walked in an hour or so ago from the lower deck that said, "To heck with the Mets, we love Bob Murphy." Here's a 1-1 pitch. Swung out and fouled off right down into the dirt. 1-2.
Strange thing about that banner, I saw Bob's kids holding that banner up.
I wonder who they were. We're in the bottom half of the first inning here, and the Colt 45's lead the Mets by a score of 7-0. John fouled that one right off his ankle, so he's exercising it a little bit. Snyder takes his lead at first base, and here is the 1-2 pitch. It's outside for a ball. 2-2. John has been up 47 times this year and has 16 base hits. High and away for a ball. It's a full count now with 2 men out and a runner at first. Charlie Hemus coaching at first for the Mets, and Cookie Lavagetta around at third. Kenny Brown up and set. Snyder leads, and the payoff pitch. Tron has a ground ball to first, taken on a big hop by Pete Reynolds. He waves Brown off and makes the play unassisted. So in the bottom of the first, the Mets got no runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 left. At the end of an inning, first game of a doubleheader, it's the Colt 45 7, the Mets nothing. Tomorrow night, the Mets and the Colt 45s will meet in a single game here. Now, that game is not on. The schedule is printed before the start of the season, or at the start of the season, because this is a makeup game. Roger Craig will be the pitcher for the New York Mets in that ball game tomorrow night, and Ken Johnson will be the pitcher for the Houston Colt 45. This is a makeup of the game that was rained out here on the night of May 1st. Persons holding tickets for the May 1st game, they exchange them for tomorrow night's game or for any subsequent game. The tickets must be exchanged. The original tickets are not good for Monday night's game. And then on Tuesday afternoon, they regularly schedule singleton between the Mets and the Houston Colt 45. The lights have been turned on here at the Polo Grounds now as we go to the second inning. The Colts sent 11 men up there in the top of the first. So it is Pete Reynolds coming up now. He's single to left. His first time up here today. Don Rowe is the pitcher. He's getting a sign from Jesse Gonder, and here's a pitch to the left-hand batter. Swung on and fouled off to the right side. Gonder gives it a run, so does Harkness, and Gonder can't get it. He tried to one-hand it, didn't get it, and as he comes back to his position, we pause for station identification.
This is WGY Schenectady 810 on your dial, where the time is 2:31 by the WGY clock.
This is Lindsey Nelson with Ralph Kiner and Bob Murphy at the Polo Grounds in New York. It is a strike 1 count. Casey Stengel, when he went out to the mound to bring in Don Rowe, instructed Cisco to go down to the bullpen and continue throwing. So Cisco is down there just for a workout in the bullpen right now. Here's a pitch in there for a called strike 2. So the pitch swung on and fouled off. Reynolds just trying to get the bat on the ball that time. A short swing. Houston 7, the Mets nothing. Here's a pitch high. It's 1-2. Down row getting a sign from Gonder. There's a swing and a foul ball to the left side out of play, going into the stand. Just been announced here in the press area that the 7 runs scored by the Colts in the first inning is their biggest inning of this year. Here's a swing out of fly ball to center. Joe Hicks goes after it and makes the catch.
We will be back on side 2 to continue the game.
One away. Rusty Staub is coming up. Been up one time and he walked. in the season, Rusty Staub was being compared a great deal to the Mets' Ed Kranepool. Both started with fat batting averages. Here is a pitch that's in there for a call strike. The Mets have sent Kranepool to Buffalo for a little seasoning where he can play every day, and he opened up with 4 for 5, including a home run in his first game with Buffalo. Here's a swing and a foul ball into the upper deck and out of play. And Rusty Staub's batting average for the season right now is at 209. He continues to bat cleanup for the Colt 45. Here's a foul ball back at first. 2-strike count to the youngster. To plate. And he is hit by a pitch ball as it hit the protective helmet. You could hear it pop, and he is stretched out on the ground. He was trying to tuck underneath and caught it in the protective helmet. As you could hear that, the helmet flew off, and now he is on the ground, hit right on top of the head or the back of the head as he was trying to duck underneath. So he is getting attention now from the Houston trainer. Manager Harry Kraft is out there. The coaches have come down. Ball players are around him. Jim Ewell is the Colt 45 trainer now as he is stretched out in a supine position, and now trainer Gus March of the New York Mets is going out to see if he can lend a hand. He's up now and moving around. Rusty Staub with the crew cut red hair is up now as the Mets had started a stretcher out from their dugout, but he's up now just feeling his head, and there's a case where that protective helmet, Ralph, kind of came in very handy.
No doubt about that, Lindsay. It's a fine thing for baseball. Fiberglass helmet, and it certainly does take most of the shock when you are hit. And, of course, it doesn't crack too often, and that's the main thing. It holds its shape. And Staub is evidently all right. He's going to stay in. The game is going on down to first base.
Rusty Staub is running down to first base now. Hit by a pitch ball. And that will bring up Bob Aspromonte. Umpire Tony Vinton, working behind the plate, has asked for a towel to be brought out so that he can wipe off home plate with a towel. A whisk broom is not of much help in trying to get mud off the plate. Aspromonte steps in. He's been up one time and walked with the bases loaded to drive in a run. Baseball, so he had to ask Tony Vinton to put a ball in play. Staub leads, and the pitch is high and away for a ball. Houston leading by a score of 7-0 here in the top half of the second inning. Swing and a foul ball. Left side out of play. That'll bring Staub back. There's one man out. Lum Harris, the coach at third, retrieves that ball and throws it out of play. It's still raining slightly at the Polo Ground. Foul ball, this one's out of play. There are a lot of fans in the box seat area of the lower deck who have simply raised their umbrellas and are sitting there in comfort. Here's a swing and a ground ball to third. Jim Hickman up with it, goes to second, and he gets stopped. There's no relay. So Aspromonte becomes the base runner at first as Rusty Staub is forced from Hickman to Hutt. Two away, and rookie shortstop Jim Wynn's coming up. Went up one time, single to center. Pop towards first, chased over by Harkness into foul territory, and now chases it back, still in foul territory, and makes the catch. So in the top of the second, Don Rowe gets the Colt 45's out with no runs on no hits, no errors, and one left, and at the end of an inning and a half, it's Houston 7 and the Mets nothing. In the bottom of the second, the Mets send up Frank Thomas to face Skinny Brown. He's batting .242 with 7 home runs and 30 runs batted in. It's pitch is inside for a ball. Frank squared around to bluff the bunt. Bob Aspermonte playing a deep third base. That's a called strike as Thomas run the hand down the bat again and bluffed the bunt, but took it for a called strike. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Tim Harkness is on deck for the Mets. This pitch misses outside. 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on it. The ground ball is short. Jim Wynn is up with it. Lays it on low, but out at first base. Pete Reynolds dug it up on the short hop at first. Thomas has grounded out. One away, and Tim Harkness is coming up. Harkness batting .203 with 7 home runs and 28 runs batted in. Pitch is in there for a called strike. The Houston Colt 45's have been the rainmakers for the New York Mets. Last year, these two teams lost 2 games because of rain. He tried to check the swing, took it around. For a strike, it's strike 2 now to Harkness. And, of course, when the Colt 45's were in here earlier this year, a game was rained out. It'll be made up tomorrow night. That pitch is low. 1-2 to Harkness. The 1-2 offering is high and away. It's 2-2. Starting play today in the National League. Tommy Davis leading the batting race. Tommy Davis of the Dodgers hitting .330. Ron Santo of the Cubs hitting .319. Dick Grote of the Cardinals hitting .317. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout for Hal Brown. 2 away, nobody on base. You know, baseball and Rheingold make a great team, so pour a tall, cold glass of Rheingold Extra Dry and settle back for more of this ball game. Joe Hicks coming up for his first time in the game. Joe recently purchased from Buffalo. Still looking for his first hit for the New York Mets. He's been up only 4 times previously. And it's on away for ball 1. He's a left-hand batter. Wearing number 22. Swing and a miss. It's 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2 now. New York Mets have made a number of personnel changes recently, bringing up Joe Christopher and Joe Hicks from Buffalo. Here's a swing on a fly ball to center field, and flipping down is Howie Goss, and the ball goes on over his head. Backhanded by Rusty Staub. Hicks is at second base, holding up with a double. At center fielder Howie Goss, starting over, slipped down on the wet turf of the outfield. It goes as a double. That is the first hit for the Mets off Skinny Brown. It is the first hit for Joe Hicks as a New York Met. An extra base hit. Larry Burright is coming up. He was recently brought back to the Mets from Buffalo. 2 men out, a runner at second. Burright batting .192 for the season. 3 runs batted in. Cloudy, rainy afternoon, 7 runs behind. You can hear the Mets fans starting the Let's Go Mets chant. Somebody brought the bass drum today. Pitch to the right-hand batter is high for ball 1. Burright up for his first time in this game. Don Rowe is swinging the bat on deck. And the pitch is high for a ball. It's 2-0. bases this afternoon wearing shirt sleeves. Here's 2-0 pitch, and it's high for ball. Goes out to 3-0. Brown comes down to smooth out the dirt a little where he's been striding on the mound. Joe Hicks leads at second. 3-0 pitch is high, and he walked it. That's the second walk given up by Hal Brown. He walked Snyder in the first inning. Mets now have runners at first and second. 2 men out on pitcher Don Rowe at the plate. He's a left-hand batter. He's been up 10 times this year and has 2 hits. Pitch is in there for a call strike to Don Rowe. Houston leading by a score of 7-0 with the Mets batting in the bottom of the second. First game of a scheduled doubleheader here at the Polo Grounds in New York. Here's a swing and a fly ball to right. Rusty Staub has it lined up. He has called, and Staub makes the catch. So the side is retired in the bottom of the second. The Mets got no runs on 1 hit. No errors and 2 left, and at the end of 2 innings, it's the Colt 45 7 and the Mets nothing. The Colt 45's with a 7-run first inning are leading here by a score of 7-0 as they come up in the third inning, and coming in here is Ralph Kiner.
Okay, Lindsay. Hi there, everybody. Score 7-0. The Colt 45's with 7 big ones in the first inning. Starting pitcher for the Mets knocked out of the box, Galen Cisco. Now in the game, it's Don Rowe, and he'll be working to Howie Goss, the center fielder. And the first pitch, a slider on the outside corner, looked at for strike 1. Goss batting .214. He popped to second base in the first inning. Now the pitch back to the right-hand batter, a swing and a miss at a low fastball for strike 2. For the Mets, behind home plate, Jesse Gonder. At first base, Tim Harkness. At second, Ron Hunt. At short, Larry Burright. At third base, Jim Hickman. Now Rowe back to work, and a curveball is over. Strike 3 call. So Don Rowe picks up his first strikeout. Wait a minute now. Thought it was strike 3. Evidently, the sign given by Donatelli was not a strike in the prior pitch. And there is a strike, and there is strike 3 call. I don't know what happened out there before. They had given a strike sign, but evidently he had not called it a strike on the prior pitch. But anyway, he struck out, and that's the first strikeout.
I'll tell you one thing, Ralph. This came as a surprise to Howie Goss because he was on his way to the dugout.
That's right. They called him back up there, so he had another shot at it. But Don Rowe got him. First strikeout for Don. 1 out. The batter is John Bateman. And Bateman takes a strike at the knees for strike 1. Bateman tripled to left center field his first time up and drove in 3 runs. He's batting .197. He has now 26 RBIs. There's a pitch low. Ball 1, strike 1. Now the pitch back in the dirt. Ball 2. The Los Angeles Dodgers doubleheader postponed because of rain, but the Dodgers won the game. They had played 6 innings, and they defeated Philadelphia 3-2. The winning pitcher, Johnny Padres, and the Dodgers now, with the help of the rain, 7 in a row. They have won 12 of their last 13. Here's a pitch back, a strike call. 2 balls, 2 strikes. After 6 innings, the Dodger doubleheader postponed, but the Dodgers won the first game. There's a pitch low, ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes to John Bateman. Now the left-hander looking for the sign. Takes it, comes back to the plate, and there's a hard ground ball down the short. Picked up by Burright. The throw across in time for out number 2. 2 men out, and Hal Brown will come to bat. Brown singled to right field off the bottom of the wall his first time up, and he also drove in a run. Colts with 7 runs in the first inning, their biggest inning so far this year, and they lead the ball game 7-0. Brown, a right-hand batter, batting .111, and he takes the strike. Pitch back is fouled right over the top of the radio booth, and out of play for strike 2. Lindsey Nelson all set to make the play, but went right over the top of his head. Now Rowe working quickly again comes back to the plate, and again a foul ball, this time over the top of the press box, and the count holds at 0-2. 2-strike count, and the pitch to Brown is fouled in the dirt this time. Ball looked at by Tony Vinzon and thrown out. 2-ball put in play. 0-2. Here's Roll again back, and this time he misses low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ball, 2 strikes, 2 men out. Roll back again inside. So the count rounds at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 men out. Colts lead 7-0. Top of the 3rd inning. Here's the pitch, and there's a little pop fly back at second base. Moving back is Ron Hunt. He makes the catch. That retires the side. So for the first time in the game, the Mets take the Colts in order. 1-2-3 in the score at the end of 2.5 innings of play. The Colts 45-7. The New York Mets, nothing. While the Dodgers getting help from Jupiter Fergus, winning the ball game after 6 innings, and they now have temporarily increased their lead to 6 1/2 games over the San Francisco Giants. And the pennant race, still anybody's guess. Different people picking different teams for different reasons, but the Dodgers are pretty well out in front now, but you can never tell. You know, when it comes to selecting New York's favorite beer, well, millions of people agree on this one. It's Rheingold Extra Dry. And the reason? Because Rheingold has a flavor all its own. And dry tells you why. 2 little words, extra dry, tell you that Rheingold is brewed the long, slow, costly way for a taste that's brisk and bright and clean clear through. Brewed extra dry to be extra refreshing. So why don't you stock in a supply of refreshing Rheingold and enjoy a glass along with the game? Soon you'll find yourself joining the millions who say, my beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Bottom half of the 3rd inning, the Colt 45's out in the field. The Mets now coming up, and batting for the 2nd time in the game will be Ron Hunt. Ron grounded out the 3rd his first time up. He's a right-hand batter, batting at .256. Mets have had 1 base hit off Skinny Brown. That was a double to center field by Joe Hicks, his first National League hit. And the first pitch by Brown is hit deep to left field, way back there. And the ball is hauled down by the left fielder, Al Spangler. Catching the ball by the bullpen. That ball hit about 450 feet. Ron Hunt with a deep drive to left field out now for out number 1, and Jim Hickman will come to bat. Still some rain falling in the ballpark. And with rain in Philadelphia, there's a possibility we could have some more rain right here at Fuller Ground. 7-0 score. The Colt leads, and a knuckleball by Brown is low to Hickman for ball 1. Jim struck out on a knuckleball his first time up. He's batting .220. Pitch back, a fastball. Looked at, strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the 1-1 delivery, and this one has popped up in shallow left field, going back to the shortstop. Also the left fielder moving on, but the shortstop makes the catch. Jim Wynn pulling the ball down about 60 feet back on the grass, back on the dirt part of the infield. 2 men out now. The batter will be Duke Snyder, who walked his first time up. Duke batting .236. Snyder's first pitch, a knuckleball fouled back over the press box for strike 1. Al Brown, the pitcher for the Colt 45's, acquired from the Yankees, throws about 90% knuckleball. He has a fast breaking knuckleball, throws it fairly hard, and it breaks down in a straight pattern, almost like a curveball. There's a high knuckleball. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's a fast working pitcher. Now he takes the sign, comes back to Snyder. Knuckleball again. This one hit foul down to Solly Hemus. So the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. In Brown's last 2 outs, he has given up only 2 runs. He won 1 game, 1-0, lost the other. Was shut out. Now the 1-2 pitch. Knuckleball again. Hit off the end of the bat into the hole by the shortstop. Into left field, a base hit for Duke Snyder. Picked up by Al Spangler, and Snyder holds at first base. Hit number 2 for the Mets off round. It brings up Jesse Gonder. That ball was hit right off the end of the bat, spinning on through the hole, right by the shortstop, Wynn, into left field. Jesse Gonder, a left-hand batter, coming up. He grounded out to first his first time up, batting .333. Jesse had 2 home runs off Don Drysdale in the last series in one game. And his first pitch is high right through at the letters for strike 1. And those 2 home runs by Jesse Gonder, equaling the 2 home runs that Duke Snyder had in the ball game. There's a foul ball into the stands. Strike 2 count. Out in the bullpen now, Ernie Fazio and Carl Warwick, an infielder and an outfielder, warming up. 2-strike count to Jesse Gonder. Brown now comes back to the plate with a knuckleball. It is high for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Duke Snyder at first base not being held on. Colt leads 7-0. Again, the knuckleball, and there's a drive to center field, but Howie Goss is right there, and he takes it in for the final out of the inning. For the Mets, no runs on 1 hit. No errors, 1 man left, and the score at the end of 3. The Colt 45, 7 runs on 5 hits. The Mets have no runs and 2 hits. The final revised edition of the New York Mets official 1963 yearbook is now on sale. This new edition contains many new action pictures in addition to biographical and statistical data on Jimmy Pearsall, Jesse Gonder, Joe Hicks, Duke Snyder, and the rest of the Mets squad. There are stories about Casey and his coaching staff, Shea Stadium, the Stadiorama scoreboard, the farm system, the man behind the scenes, and many other interesting facts and stories. You know, some of the photos, they've got a lot of new ones. Well, they have one of Casey leading the band. The Mets at West Point, the 1963 Old Timers Day ceremony. Jimmy Pearsall hitting his 100th home run. And he ran backwards on that one, if you recall. Willie Mays night and opening day. So to obtain your copy of the final revised edition of the Mets official 1963 yearbook, send 50 cents to Met Yearbook, Polo Grounds, New York, 39, New York. The book is also available at the Met Midtown ticket offices, located in Grand Central and Pennsylvania Station. Moving to the 4th inning with the Colt 45's on top, 7-0. The first batter will be Al Spangler, the leadoff man. Al had a home run as the first batter in this ball game here today, and he takes a high outside pitch from Don Rowe for ball 1. He batted twice in the first inning when the Colt 45 sent 11 men to the plate. His second time up, he fouled out. There's a high pop-up in front of the mound. Coming out is Jesse Gonder. Now calling is Jim Hickman, and Jim makes the catch. So Spangler now is 1 for 3. The Mets have 1 out here in the 4th inning, and Johnny Temple will come to bat. John is 0 for 2. Veteran second baseman batting .264. And the first pitch is inside, ball 1. John is quite a character, and he's been quite a ball player. His big record set with Cincinnati. Here's the 1-0 pitch, inside again, ball 2. He's known as the last of the playing umpires. He really gives the umpires a bad time at the plate. Here's the 2-0 pitch, line hard over the third base bag right down the line. A base hit. He might go for 2. He rounds. Ball is picked up by Thomas, and Thomas's throw stops him at first base. The ball gets away from Ron Hunt, but no play on. Temple with a base hit, and we're going to have a pinch runner for Johnny Temple. It's going to be Ernie Fazio. Fazio, a bonus player, signed up along with Bob Garibaldi out of Santa Clara last year. One man out, a man at first base. The score is 7-0 in favor of the Colt 45's, and the batter will be a pinch hitter batting for Pete Reynolds. Here's the first pitch. It's high for ball 1. Carl Warwick batting for Pete Reynolds. Reynolds 1 for 2 being taken out. And the pitch back is high again. Ball 2. There's the announcer adjustment of Carl Warwick in the game. Again high by Don Rowe, and it's ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Rowe sets and comes back, and there's a drive hit down the left field line, foul. And while we wait for a new ball to be put in play, we'll pause for station identification.
The voice of the Mets in the great Northeast, WGY Schenectady. The time, 1 minute past 3.
Here along with Lindsey Nelson and Bob Murphy. There's a ball hit down to third. Hickman goes over to second in time. The throw to first base, not in time. Mets just missing their 88th double play. Warwick beating the throw to first base by half a step. Fazio, a race going on down to second base, and we now have 2 men out, and the batter will be Rusty Staub. Rusty, who was hit by a pitch ball, his last time up, a left-hand batter. And his first pitch is line foul down the right field line. Staub batting .209. And he looks at the curveball, strike 2. Strike count. A left-hander on the mound, Don Rowe now working back, and there's a high slider popped up in foul territory. Gonder looks, it goes out of play. 0-2, the count holding. Colts on top. They have 7 runs with 6 base hits. The Mets have no runs and 2 hits. We're in the top of the 4th with 2 men out. And the pitch back to Staub is a call, strike 3. And now the signal being that the ball did glance off of the bat. A foul tip held onto by Gussie Gonder. A strikeout to be given to Don Rowe, and that retires the side. In the inning, no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors. 1 man was left on base, and the score at the end of 3 1/2 innings of play. The Colt 45 7, the New York Mets nothing. We go here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Frank Thomas, the first batter, and the first pitch to him is a knuckleball over for strike 1. Frank, a right-hand batter, batting for the second time. He grounded out the short his first time up. There's a base hit right through the hole into left field. Ball picked up by Al Spangler and thrown on in, and the Mets now have a runner at first base with no one out. They trail 7-0. For the Colt 45, changes in their defensive alignment. At second base now, Ernie Fazio in place of Johnny Temple. In right field, Carl Warwick in place of Rusty Staub. And Rusty Staub has been moved to first base in place of Pete Reynolds. Mets now with a runner at first base. And the batter is Tim Harkness. Tim struck out on a fastball his first time up, batting at .202. And the first pitch is high for ball 1. The base hit by Frank Thomas, the third off Kenny Brown on the mound. Pitch back to Harkness, a hard swing and a miss for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Strike, and again a hard swing and a miss, but strike 2. Rain coming down a little bit harder right now here at the Polo Grounds. 1-2, and a knuckleball is over. The ball dropped by John Bateman, but he picks it up and tags Harkness out, and a strikeout is given to Hal Brown on the mound. His third in the ball game. It brings up Joe Hicks. Joe doubles to right center field his first time up, his first National League base hit. And, of course, his first hit is a Met. Well, now would be a great time to order up or pour a glass of that famous dry beer. And that's got to be Rheingold. It's beer as beers should taste. There's the pitch to Joe Hicks at a high foul ball down the right field line. Coming over is Carl Warwick. And also there, Ernie Fazio, and the ball is in the corner, caught by the right fielder, Carl Warwick. And there's a sign given by the first base umpire who had gone out there, Merrill Steiner. Actually, Warwick disappeared from sight. He went so deep into the corner right in the foul territory area. So a fine play by Carl Warwick. 2 men out now, and the batter will be Larry Burright. Larry walked his first time up. Right-hand batter. The score is 7-0. The Colt 45's lead. And the first pitch hit in the hole, through in the left field on the ground, a base hit. Frank Thomas moves to second base and holds there. So the Mets now have runners at first and second base. Second time that they have had a man at second base, and the batter will be Don Rowe, who is a good hitting pitcher. Don flied out to right field his first time up. Mets trying to stay alive. They're also trying to keep the game going right at this point as slowly as possible. Of course, with a rain threat, there's a chance that the 7 run could be erased. Here's the first pitch to Don Rowe. He pulls it foul for strike 1. Rowe has 2 hits and 11 trips to the plate this year. Brown now back to work, and a knuckleball is hit foul over by the dugout. John Bateman coming over, and he makes a good try to blow off his glove, and he goes down into the dugout. He's all right now, coming back out. Of course, you can go in the dugout to make that catch. If you stay on the dugout area and go on in, and the ball is in play. Strike count, holding on Don Rowe. Runners at first and second, 2 men out, bottom half of the 4th. And a knuckleball is lined to right, a base hit. Coming over Carl Woolrich, he juggles the ball, picks it up. Frank Thomas will score. Here comes the throw in, and going to third base is Larry Furride. That's with their first run of the ball game. A line drive right off over the first baseman's head. And Carl Woolrich made a good play to get to it before it got to the wall. He juggled the ball. Otherwise, he would have had a chance possibly on cutting Frank Thomas down trying to score. But Frank did score. No error in the play. The score now 7-1 in favor of the Colt 45. And batting for the third time in the ball game, Ron Hunt. Runners at first and third, 2 men out. And the first pitch to Rod is fouled away for strike 1. One strike count. Ron batting .255. He is 0 for 2. And Brown comes back with a knuckleball that's low. 1 ball, 1 strike. John Bateman, the kid in the game, using the oversized glove to handle a knuckleball by Skinny Brown. Glove first put in use at Baltimore when Paul Richards was the manager there. Here's a pitch outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Paul Richards, now the man in charge of player personnel for the Colt 45. He has just been given a 6-year contract. 7-1, the Colts lead. Mets with runners at first and third. Pitch back to Hunt, foul back. Strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now Brown sets. And comes back, and there's a base hit, possibly to left. Coming on strong, he's left fielder, and he makes the catch. Ball stayed up in the air, and Ron Hunt lined out the left field. Al Spangler coming on quickly to pick that ball up, and it was hit so well it stayed in the air. That retires the side in the inning for the Mets. They score 1 run on 3 base hits. There were no errors. 2 men were left on, and the score at the end of 4. The Colt 45-7. The New York Mets 1. Now to bring you up to date on the scores, Lindsey Nelson.
All right, Ralph, kind of in the National League, we're getting a lot of rain around today. San Francisco scheduled against the Pittsburgh Pirates in Pittsburgh, a doubleheader postponed because of rain. The Giants will be here on Wednesday night and Thursday night. The Los Angeles Dodgers scheduled for a doubleheader in Philadelphia got 6 innings of the first game in before rain came. That's enough for a ball game, and the Dodgers won. It's 3-2. Johnny Padres got the win, his 8th of the season against 6 losses. Cal McLeish took the loss. Johnny Callison and Ruben Amaro homered in that ball game for for the Phils, but the Dodgers won it 3-2, and the second game postponed because of rain. The end of 3.5 innings, the Cardinals 5, the Chicago Cubs 1. Hobby for Chicago, Brewer in the second, Elston in the fourth, Ray Sadecki for the Cardinals. Boyer and White have homered for the Cards. That's the first game of a doubleheader. The end of 4, the Cincinnati Reds, 4, the Milwaukee Brewers, nothing. Show against the Tura, Steele, and Penson, homered for the Reds. That is the first of 2 in the American League. The Yankees are at Kansas City for a doubleheader. Detroit at Washington, a doubleheader postponed because of rain. Baltimore and Chicago at the end of 2 innings. No score, McCormick against Herbert. That's the first of 2. Right now we are going to the top half of the 5th inning. And here is the first pitch. Low to Bob Aspermoney, or rather in there to Aspermoney for a called strike 1. Here's the pitch from lined into the glove of Hickman at third. 1 away, and that will bring up Jim Wynn for the Colt 45. The end of 3.5 innings, the Cleveland Indians 3 and the Minnesota Twins 1. Ramos against Scott. Versailles, Tasby, and Fatty have homered in that ball game. Boston is at Los Angeles for a doubleheader. A much later start. Wynn is the right-hand batter. Rowe with the pitch swung on and foul back. Well, it is not raining as hard at this moment as it has been a little earlier. For this to be an official ball game, we must get into 5 full innings. The home team trailing must bat in the bottom half of the 5th inning before it becomes an official game. Here's a drive deep to left, way back, going, and this one is a home run for Jim Wynn, his first major league home run. So he comes out around, and the score is 8-1 now. The Colt 45's leading. That will bring up Howie Gott. The Massapequa Elks are with us today, 200 of them. They're entertaining 100 orphans who are the guests of the Mets at today's game. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Howie Gott. That pitch is low. It's 1-1. Gets the sign, and here's the pitch swung on and fouled off. Man on the field who has been constantly checking the weather is the senior umpire, Augie Donatelli. He is the umpire at second base. Here's a swing and a ground ball. The shortstop taken by Thorite. Plays across in time. Doss has grounded out 2 away. That'll bring up Johnny Bateman. When any decision is made, if one is made on the weather, it'll be made by the umpire at second base. Donatelli, who would signal it to the umpire behind the plate, Tony Benson, but no immediate threat of this one being stopped because the field is still in good condition. Pitch is low and away for ball 1. The Colts got 7 runs in the top of the first, and they lead by a score of 8-1. Pitch is in there for a called strike. 1-1 now to Johnny Bateman. He tripled to drive in 3 runs in that big first inning. Here's a swing and a fly ball to right center. Joe Hicks is over. He has it lined up deep, and he makes the catch for the out. So the crowd is retired. Colts are out on the top of the 5th with no runs on 1 hit. The homer by Jim Wynn, no errors, and none left. At the end of 4.5 innings, it is the Colt 45's 8 and the New York Mets 1. Well, you know, it's a big, wide, wonderful world we live in. There's so many ways to enjoy life. Boating, golf, tennis, swimming, picnicking, or just relaxing in the backyard. You know what goes with all of this? Well, sure you do. Rheingold Extra Dry Beer. It's a wonderful beer to enjoy on a wonderful day. In fact, Rheingold makes even ordinary days seem wonderful. It's the flavor that does it. The extra refreshing flavor that is Rheingold's alone. And dry tells you why. Rheingold's way of brewing is long, slow, and costly, but it pays off in taste. It gives Rheingold the happiest taste in beer today. But why not find that out for yourself? The next chance you get, open up or order up fine, cold Rheingold. Discover why millions say, my beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Discover why Rheingold is New York's largest selling beer. We're going now to the bottom half of the 5th inning, and Jim Hickman will be up to lead off for the New York Mets. Skinny Brown is on the mound. Swinging a ground ball to third, taken deep by Astromonte. The play across to Rusty Staub is in time, and Hickman has grounded out. Hickman swinging on the first ball pitch here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. That brings up Duke Snyder. He has walked and singled. When the Mets have completed batting in this half inning, this will be an official ball game. Brown with the pitch. Swung on. Does it deep to center. Going way back is Howie Goss. And this one is taken by Goss in the warning track in front of the center field bleachers. Goss got a good jump on the ball. That is more than 450 feet. Taken in the warning track in front of the right center field bleacher section at the Polo Ground. Snyder gets a hand as he comes back to the dugout after belting that one a long, long way. Jesse Gonder coming up with 2 men out. Gonder is grounded out to first and flied out to center field. Down with a no wind-up delivery, and it's low and inside for ball. Frank Thomas is on deck now for the Mets. Batting in the bottom of the fifth, trailing 8-1. There's a swing and a high fly ball to short center, and moving over is Howie Goss. He is there. He makes the catch, and this is an official ball game. As the New York Mets in the bottom of the fifth got no runs, no hits, no errors, and none left. At the end of 5, Houston Colt 45's 8, the New York Mets 1. We're going now to the top half of the 6th inning. And coming up to lead off for the Colt 45's will be pitcher Skinny Brown. Rod Cannell is warming up. Pitcher Don Rowe. Choo-Choo Coleman came in from the bullpen area. There is no catcher out there in a moment. I think we're going to get a catching change here. Cannell makes the throw on down to second base, and umpire Tony Benson is signaling up to public address announcer Jack Lee that we're going to have a new catcher. Here's the announcement. Choo-Choo Coleman coming out of the dugout right now. So Coleman replaces Jesse Gonder behind the plate for the Mets. Kenny Brown steps into the batter's box. Left-hander Don Rowe working for the Mets in relief of the starter, Galen Cisco. And the pitch is zipped in for a call, strike one. Again, the pitch, and it's low for ball. It's 1-1. To keep a scorecard, Coleman will bat fourth in the Mets batting order. And a pitch swung on and full foul on the ground just back at third. Chad Crawford, the umpire down there. Runs the count to 1-2 to Skinny Brown. Go 45's have 8 runs on 7 hits. The Mets have 1 run on 5 hits. Pitch is in there for a call, strike 3. That's the third strikeout for Don Rowe in this game. 1 away for the Colt 45's in the top of the 6th, and Al Spangler's coming up. Spangler leading off here this afternoon for the Colt 45's, hit the second pitch of the game into the right field seat for a home run. Since then, he has popped the third twice. There's a breaking ball in there for a call strike to Spangler. It has been established again here this afternoon that the new breed is a hardy breed. Pitch is low for a ball. As you can probably hear, a group of youngsters with a bass drum, a trumpet, and assorted paraphernalia trying to get a Let's Go Mets chant started. Here's the pitch low for a ball. Here's 2-1 pitch, and it's inside for a ball. 3-1 to Al Spangler. And although we've had a light rain falling throughout most of this game, many fans have remained in the lower box seat areas with umbrellas. Here's the pitch high. Ball 4, and Warwick goes to first with the base on balls. That is, Spangler goes to first with the base on balls. That is the first walk issued by Don Rowe since he came on here in relief of Cisco in the first inning. Now it's Ernie Fazio coming up for his first time in this game. There's a swing and a pop towards second. Digging out is Ron Hutt. Now looks to find the ball and get it. So it falls in the throw to second. The force is made there on Spangler. So there'll be no error on the play. Joe Hicks picked up the ball and threw into Burright. That play goes 8-6 if you're scoring on Spangler. Hutt simply turned his back to the grandstand and started digging out and did not look for the ball until he was where he thought it was going to be, and when he got there and looked, it wasn't there. So the ball fell safely, holding up, thinking it was going to be caught with Spangler, so Hicks picked up the ball and made the point. So there's now a pitch to Carl Warwick is foul back and out of play. So Fazio is simply on the field as choice as Spangler was forced on the play. Here's a pitch a little tight, and it's 1-1 to Carl Warwick. For his second time here, he's batted for Pete Runnels in the top of the fourth. Swinging a foul ball on the ground out of play. 1-2 now to Warwick. We're on the top half of the sixth inning here at the Polo Grounds. First game of a scheduled doubleheader. Houston 8, the Mets 1. There's a swing and a pop to right in short right field. Ron Hutt is back there now waiting. And he makes the catch to retire the side. In the top of the sixth, the Colt 45's got no runs on no hits, no errors, and one left. And at the end of 5.5 innings, it's the Colt 45's 8, the New York Mets 1. You've probably heard a lot about ball player superstition, but man seemed to have almost as many. One friend of mine only lights a cigarette when his team comes to bat, and another smokes only during the odd-numbered innings. Well, whenever you smoke while you're enjoying the game, here's the way you can enjoy each cigarette more. Just make it a Viceroy. Because Viceroy tastes the way you'd like a filter cigarette to taste. Not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. And you can count on it. If you smoke all 7 leading filter brands, you'll find some taste too strong, just like the unfiltered kind. And some taste too light. They filter all the fun and flavor out of smoking. But Viceroy is not too strong, not too light. Viceroy has got the taste that's right. So next time, buy a carton of Viceroy in the familiar soft pack or the new slide top case. Either way, fans, Viceroy has got the taste that's right. We're going here to the bottom of the sixth, and Frank Thomas is up to lead off for the Mets. He singled in the bottom of the fourth and has scored the only runs the Mets have in this game so far. Kenny Brown started, is still on the mound for the Colt 45. No wind-up delivery. Pitch is swung on and missed to strike one. Tim Harkness now on deck for the Mets. That comes inside for ball. It's 1-1. The 1-1 offering. Swung on, and there's a fly ball to left. Hanging right there is Al Spangler. He waits and makes the catch. One away, nobody on for the Mets in the bottom of the sixth, and first baseman Tim Harkness coming up. He has been up twice, struck out both times. That pitch is low for a ball. They should have joined us along the way. The Colts got 7 runs in the first inning, 5 of them charged against starter Galen Cisco, who failed to retire a man before he was relieved by Don Rowe. This one is a foul ball back at first. Digging over is Rusty Staub, and catcher Johnny Bateman takes Staub, calls, and makes the catch. So Harkness has fouled out to first base. 2 away, nobody on. Coming up is center fielder Joe Hicks. Time to relax with a Viceroy cigarette. Not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. Doubled in the bottom of the second to center field. His first National League hit. Pitch is low for a ball. Umpire Tony Benson behind the plate examines the ball and leaves it in play. Wise to examine any ball hitting in the dirt now. Here is swing and miss. 1-1. The field is does not appear to be slippery at any place, despite the fact that we have had a light rain falling throughout the game. Here's a pitch low. We're speaking of the infield areas. Of course, the grass is slippery, as evidenced by the fact that Howie Goss slipped down on a ball hit by Hicks for that double in the second inning. Swing and a ground ball foul. It's out of play, and the count's 2-2. Here's a swing and a one-hopper taken by Sardio at second, and he throws on to Staub at first in time, and the Mets are out on the bottom of the sixth with no runs, on no hits, no errors, and none left. And at the end of 6 innings of play, it is the Colt 45's 8 and the New York Mets 1. The Giants will be coming in here after this Colt 45 series, and Bob Mercer will be in here to tell you more about that just as soon as we pause for station identification.
The voice of the Mets in the Northeast, WGY Schenectady, a General Electric station. The time, 29 minutes past 3.
Okay, Lindsay, Alvin Dark and the Giants have 2 night games here in the Polo Grounds to wind up the homestand for New York. The Giants are in on Wednesday night and Thursday night. Willie McCovey having a blistering year for the San Francisco Giants. Willie and Henry Aaron tied for the Major League lead in home runs. Each belting 26. Willie Mays now has hiked his total to 17. So the Giants are in for 2 night games on Wednesday night and Thursday night. Following the Thursday night game, the New York Mets will then open a lengthy road trip in Philadelphia. In the 7th inning, Rusty Staub leads off for Houston against left-hander Don Rowe. Officially, Rowe has pitched the entire 6th inning. Now down out of his windup, the pitch. It's over at the letter. Strike 1 call to Rusty Staub. Staub has drawn a walk. Reached base when he was hit by a pitch and struck out. Off the outside corner, Choo-Choo Coleman working behind the plate. Goes right back into the glove of Don Rowe. Rusty Staub lined out the row. Don just flicked the glove up and picked it out of the air. One away, nobody on in the 7th inning, and the hitter now, Bob Aspromonte. Aspromonte has drawn a walk, reached on a fielder's choice, lined out to third. Outside and high, 1 ball and no strikes. Fly ball into right field. Moving out into shallow right is Ron Hunt. And Ron makes the catch. There are 2 away. Houston got 5 of the 7 runs off starter Galen Cisco. Don Rowe in 6 2/3 innings has given up 2 runs, allowed 4 hits. Down comes the pitch to the rookie shortstop, Jim Wynn, and he takes it for a strike on the outside corner. He hit his first Major League home run his last time at bat in the 5th inning. He has to get away from this one. It's inside and high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jim Wynn, 21-year-old shortstop, right-hand hitter. A swing and a miss on a breaking pitch down low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jim Wynn is a Cincinnati boy who was drafted out of the Cincinnati organization by the Houston Colt 45. First half of this year, they had him playing at San Antonio. Just missed the outside edge, and the count even 2-2. Houston out in front, 8-1. We're in the top of the 7th inning. Now the pitch taken inside and low, and a full count, 3-2. Ball forward, misses outside, and Wynn reaches on a walk. The second walk given up by Rowe. Now the hitter is Howie Goss, the center fielder. A grounder hit down to third, handled by Hickman. He pegs to Hunt. He's out for the 4th play that retires the side. Pretty close play at second base. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left on. Now at the end of 6 1/2 innings, the score: Houston 8, New York 1. half of the seventh inning as the New York Mets come up against Skinny Brown. It's over for a call strike. Now Skinny out of his windup, delivers. Clear right, bunts the ball. Off the mound comes Brown. He picks it up, throws to first. Out at a close play. Front his way on to get something going here in the home seventh. He's out on a very close play. Now Don Rowe comes on to hit. Don has driven in the lone New York run with a single to right field that plated Frank Thomas. Don has one hit and 2 times up and an RBI. He swings the bat real well. Now Skinny Brown winds, delivers. Knuckleball high, 1 ball and no strikes. Pitch underway. A high fly ball. If it stays fair, it might do it. That's squat. And it's going to be a foul ball. Foul ball landing in the upper deck. Don Rowe had a real polo ground swing on that one. Pulled it right down the line. But pulled it just a little bit too much and it went foul. The skies are overcast, light rain falling. A swing and a miss on a breaking pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now Skinny Brown with a 1 and 2 delivery. Black foul, back upstairs, no play in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Skinny Brown has given up 1 run, allowed 5 base hits. Walked 2 and struck out 3. A little pop-up toward shortstop taken by Jim Wynn. More of a soft liner than a pop fly. Not very high in the air, and Wynn just stood there to take it. Now there are 2 away, nobody on. Top of the batting order for second baseman Ron Hunt. Ron is 0 for 3 in the game, but his last 2 times at bat, he has hit the ball deep to left center and had it run down. Skinny, a slow grounder hit down to third. There, one-hand pickup by Aspermani. The peg, he's safe. Staub was pulled off the bag in handling the throw. We'll wait for the official scoring. It was a tough play for Aspermani, that slow grounder. The grass is slippery and hard to run fast on. He had to come in at full speed and then throw off stride. It'll go as an infield hit for Ron Hunt. So that is base hit number 6 by New York, and the batter now is Jim Hickman. Jim has been called out. Popped to short, grounded out to third, nothing for 3. Swing and a miss on a knuckleball. Young John Bateman has done a good job behind the plate with a big mitt handling the knuckler of Skinny Brown. Here's the pitch on the way. Outside and low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Skinny's last time out, he lost a tough pitching duel to Milwaukee 2-0. And just prior to that, went all the way to shut out the St. Louis Cardinals 1-0. Ground ball, a base hit through the hole into left field. Ron Hunt turns at second. He'll stop there. Al Spangler playing the ball back to the infield to Jim Wynn. The pitching coach of the Houston Colt 45's picks up the telephone. And we'll have something starting up in just a moment or 2 for the Houston Colt 45. The hitter is Duke Snyder. Duke has walked, single to left, and hit a ball out on the warning track in right center that was caught. Lefty Hal Woodishick will start to get ready. Now the pitch to Snyder. A ground ball hit hard towards second. Ernie Fazio comes up with it, plays to stop, and the side is out. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on. Now 7 innings complete, and the score, the Houston Colt 45's 8 and the New York Mets 1. That's the score here, and Ralph Kiner has the scores of other games for you.
While rain has shown up all around the circuit, San Francisco is scheduled at Pittsburgh, rained out. They had a doubleheader scheduled there, and San Francisco will be in here at the Polo Grounds for Wednesday night and Thursday night games. So if you haven't made your plans, come on out and join us. That should be a real big series. The Los Angeles Dodgers won the first game after 6 innings when the game was called because of rain, and the second game was rained out, of course. In that game, the Dodgers won it 3-2. The winning pitcher, Johnny Padres. He now has won 8 and lost 6, and the Dodgers now have temporarily, at least, increased their lead. I guess you'd have to say they have increased their lead to 6.5 games over the Giants. Also in the National League, Chicago at St. Louis. The Cardinals out in front 9-1 after 5.5 innings. Sadecki working on that win. Boyer and White home runs. That's the first of 2. Cincinnati playing at home, and they lead Milwaukee by a score of 4-1 after 6.5. Shaw and Sator, the pitchers in that one, the first of 2. In the American League, New York out the top of the first, no score. Kansas City now coming to bat. Stafford against Rakow. That's the first of 2. He's tracking right center that was caught. Let's see how Winterchick will start to get ready. Now the pitch to Snyder. A ground ball hit hard towards second. Ernie Fazio comes up with it. Plays to stop, and the bat is out. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on. Now 7 innings complete, and the score, the Houston Colt 45's 8, and the New York Mets 1. That's the score here, and Ralph Kiner has the scores of other games for you. While rain has shown up all around the circuit, San Francisco is scheduled at Pittsburgh, rained out. They had a doubleheader scheduled there, and San Francisco will be in here at the Polo Grounds for Wednesday night and Thursday night games. So if you haven't made your plans, come on out and join us. That should be a real big series. The Los Angeles Dodgers won the first game after 6 innings when the game was called because of rain, and the second game was rained out, of course. In that game, the Dodgers won it 3-2. The winning pitcher, Johnny Padres. He now has won 8 and lost 6, and the Dodgers now have temporarily, at least, increased their lead. I guess you'd have to say they have increased their lead to 6.5 games over the Giants. Also in the National League, Chicago at St. Louis. The Cardinals out in front 9-1 after 5.5 innings. Sadecki working on that win. Boyer and White home runs. That's the first of 2. Cincinnati playing at home, and they lead Milwaukee by a score of 4-1 after 6.5. Shaw and Sator, the pitchers in that one, the first of 2. The American League, New York out the top of the first, no score. Kansas City now coming to bat. Stafford against Rakow. That's the first of 2. Detroit and Washington postponed because of rain. Baltimore 4, Chicago nothing after 3.5, first of 2. Minnesota 4, Cleveland 3 after 5.5, and now here's Bob. Johnny Bateman hits the first pitch on the ground down to third. Jim Hickman pegs across to Harkness, 1 away in the 8th inning. Later this afternoon, the Red Sox and the Angels round out the Major League Baseball schedule with a doubleheader on the West Coast. 1 away and nobody on, and we're waiting for Hal Skinny Brown to come out and face Don Rowe. Don came in the game in the opening inning with nobody out to relieve Galen Cisco. Houston scoring 7 of their 8 runs in the first. Now Don Rowe trying to kick the mud out of his cleats. He signed from 2-2. Ground ball hit hard down to third. Jim Hickman going to his glove side is up with it. Throws to first, 2 down. They have been hitting the first pitch a great deal. 2 outs and nobody on. Now Al Spangler coming on. Spangler got things going. He was the keynoter with a home run into the upper deck leading off in the ball game. Since then he has fouled to third, popped to third, and drawn a walk. Watershik continuing to throw in the Houston bullpen. Watershik, the real Cinderella story in baseball this season. Inside and low, 1 ball and no strikes. Al Watershik, after 30 appearances, has an earned run average of 1.3. He has won 8 and lost 4. 71 and 2/3 innings, he has given up only 39 base hits. He's been phenomenal. Pitch in the dirt, no play. Watershik, who has bounced around for a number of years without ever really hitting his stride, really blossoming out as a relief ace for Houston.
score. Spangler walks on 4 pitches.
Bob, you know, amazingly, he credits his success to the fact that he's learned how to throw a slider the right way for the first time, and you know who taught him? Rusty Staub. Now, that's sort of unusual.
Isn't that amazing?
Rusty Staub, first-year man and a first baseman, and he taught Woodachek how to throw a slider.
Boy, those are those little things that happen behind the scenes in baseball that you find it hard to believe. Here's Rusty Staub, just barely out of high school. Swinging a miss by Ernie Fazio on a 2-strike count. I'll say one thing, Ralph, that speaks well for Rusty Staub's high school coach.
I guess Rusty might have pitched somewhere on the line because you can always learn something about baseball from just about anyone who has played.
High fly hit the left field by Fazio. Drifting back is Frank Thomas. He's under it. He puts it away on the side is retired. Fazio retired on the fly to left. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left on. Now at the end of 7 1/2 innings, the score, Houston 8 and New York 1. There are many ways to brew beer. Rheingold takes the long, slow, costly way, the extra dry way. And that explains why there's such a wonderful difference in the taste of Rheingold. Yes, sir, dry tells you why. Tells you why Rheingold is beer as beer should taste. Brisk and bright and clean, clear through. You know, costly ingredients are one thing, and Rheingold has them, but it takes more. It takes the skill of 126 years of brewing experience. The extra dry skill that is Rheingold's alone. And you can measure the difference that dry makes in taste. Rheingold has the happiest taste in beer today. No other beer can quite match it. So it's no wonder that millions say, my beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. But wouldn't you rather discover that difference for yourself? Enjoy the extra refreshment that comes with Rheingold Extra Dry Beer. Open up or order up fine cold Rheingold. Coleman is up against Skinny Brown in the last of the 8th inning. Rain coming down a little bit harder now. 1 ball and no strikes to 2-2. Skinny delivers inside and low. It's ball 2, 2-0. Ralph, I'd hate to have to carry that catcher's mitt in my suitcase. It's a big one. Of course, it might come in handy if you're riding a train. You can use it for a pillow. Now the 2-0 delivery. He bunts the ball down the third base line. It's going to be tough to get him. They can't do it. 2-2's on with a bunt base hit. Is on with a single on a bunt. Beautiful bunt. Aspromonte had no chance at all to get him. That brings up Frank Thomas. Frank has 1 hit and 3 times up. He scored the only run of the game for New York when he came in on the single to right field by Don Rowe. Now Skinny Brown, standing on a muddy hill, takes his side. In comes the pitch. And the curve outside and low. 1 ball and no strike. Skinny Brown has been a consistent 10 and 12 game winner. Real good spot pitcher. The 1-0 pitch. Foul ball. He had a curve that hung and lined it into the seats down the left field line. I don't know how much umbrellas cost, but a fellow was willing to lose his umbrella to try and catch a foul ball.
He didn't know whether to drop the umbrella, go after the ball. I don't know. He was all confused.
1-1 delivery. Outside and high. There's nothing like looking up and seeing a line drive coming right at you to confuse you. Now the count, 2 balls and a strike. The pitch thrown, a high fly ball hit deep to left field. Spangler way back, and it's gone for a home run. With a 2-run homer, his 8th home run of the year. He hit that one a long way to deep left center field. It struck the railing of the upper deck. Boy, it is really getting dark now. It has rained the entire ball game, but just in the last few minutes, that overcast has really blackened. Now Tim Harkness batting, and the knuckler is in. Strike one call. If you want to collect a little rainwater to wash your hair with, get the bucket out because it looks like it's going to come down. Next pitch by Skinny, knuckler on the inside corner for a call strike. Jay Hook has started to warm up now for the Mets. An 8-3 ball game following the 2-run homer by Frank Thomas. Now the pitch on the way. Bounced foul. He barely got a piece of it. New York 3 runs on 9 hits. Houston 8 runs on 7 hits. Rain coming down much harder, and now the umpires say, let's wait for a while and see if it gets any better. So let's check our time, please. Right here at about 10 minutes until 4, the game is being delayed because of rain. Now the ground crew is going to cover the infield, so we're going to have a delay because of rain, and just in the last few minutes has the overcast really blackened. Rain picking up in tempo, coming down fairly hard right now, and many of the players are scrambling on the run toward the center field clubhouse. Most are leaving the dugouts, and after taking a look at that sky, saying, well, this looks like it might be a delay of 15 or 20 minutes or so. So they're going to sweat it out in the clubhouse rather than try and remain in the dugout. The big reason being that the way the wind is blowing, if they stay in the dugout, they get soaking wet because the wind is blowing the rain in toward the dugouts and the home plate area. So the game is being delayed because of rain, with Houston leading by a score of 8-3. We're in the last half of the 8th inning. For those of you who joined us late today, Houston scored 7 runs in the first inning. Al Spangler was the keynoter. He homered into the upper deck in right field, leading off in the ball game. Johnny Temple reached safely on an error. Pete Ronaldson singled to left field. Rusty Staub drew a walk. That loaded the bases. Bob Aspermonte walked, forcing in a run, and Houston led 2-0. At that point, Galen Cisco was taken out. Don Rowe came in. Rookie Jim Wynn singled home a run to make it 3-0. Howard Goss popped up to second, but John Bateman tripled with the bases loaded, driving 3 runs in, and Houston took the lead 6-0. Moments later, Skinny Brown, always a good hitter, singled off the wall in right field, scoring John Bateman with his 7th run in the first inning. The other Houston run in the ball game came in the 5th inning on rookie Jim Wynn's first major league home run. For the New York Mets, they picked up a run off Skinny Brown in the 4th inning on singles by Frank Thomas, Larry Burright, and a run-scoring single to right by Don Rowe. Here in the 8th inning, just before the delay, Choo-Choo Coleman bunted his way on with the beauty of a bunt down the third baseline, and Frank Thomas unloaded a long home run to deep left center field. The ball struck the railing of the upper deck out near the bullpen area. And right after Frank hit the home run with a count of 2 strikes on Tim Harkness, the umpires decided that it might be best for one and all if they held up and waited to see if the rain is going to stop. So we'll have a rain delay right here with the Colt 45's in front by a score of 8-3. We'll be staying right on hand, and the moment that the umpires come out and indicate that they are ready to go once again, we'll be back on hand to detail the remaining play-by-play. But for right now, with the game held up here in the Polo Grounds because of rain, during the interim, we return you to your local studios.
For a considerable delay period, the game was called, and the Colt 45's won 8-3.